Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Rutland, Vermont. For the first time, NEBA is here for the Green Mountain Open. And Bruce Hall with you here solo today because my broadcast partner up here, John Wilbur, not only made the cut but got seeded. We're going to give you some bonus coverage here for the round of 24. And basically what's happening is this is the very first round of the finals. And you just watched Larry King completely flag a 2-8. We'll talk about the lane pattern in a minute. We are here with 24 finalists, and the way that works when we have 24, and there was a 3-7 pickup. Lots of interesting action as soon as we jump on the live stream here. That was Will Vidulich making a 3-7 the very hard way out from the back. So when we have 24 qualifiers, the way it works is there are 16 buys. Excuse me, there are 8 buys, and the bottom 16 bowlers all bowl each other. So we have 16 bowlers bowling now, 8 matches. And once that's done, we'll have 8 winners, and they will bowl the 8 seeded players. And then we will move on to the round of 16. So this is bonus coverage for you. We normally don't start until the round of 16, but we're sitting here, everything's working. We said, what the heck, let's go on. And so any feedback on the audio, feedback on the video, anything you have to say, I'm watching the chat here, so good to see everybody. Good to be back on the mic here. I've had a little interesting last few weeks. I was just in Mooresville 3 days ago, and then I was in Philadelphia this morning, and here I am in beautiful Rutland, Vermont, and it is beautiful. Perfect day driving up here, and beautiful scenery, obviously. And as I'm told, there's still snow at nearby Killington, and they are still skiing at Killington, and I believe it's May. So pretty impressive that they keep the ski runs going here. So let's talk a little bit about, hey, Carl Buckley, how you doing, buddy? Glad to see you're on the live stream with us, and thanks for the feedback. I want to make sure I'm loud enough. I often turn my mic down a little, and when I listen to the playback, I'm not loud enough. So I just want to make sure things are sounding good. Let's cover some of these matches. You just saw Ian Fitzpatrick on lane 14. He's bowling against Larry King, 2 left-handers. And that's our feature pairs are 11 and 12 and 13 and 14. And then for the championship match, we will move over to 15 and 16. So we will use that pair for this round and the next round, and after that we will not use it. We'll go through the matches. Lanes 3 and 4, interesting matchup out of Massachusetts, Chris Monroy and Christopher Viali going at it. I can't see what's going on. I'll try to get my binoculars and see who won which match. We'll move on to lanes 7 and 8. That's going to be Ditto Fitzpatrick, so both Ditto and Ian have made the cut here. Fitzpatrick bowling against Sarah Gill, who got in by virtue of the women's cut. And we'll talk about that in a minute as well. 9 and 10 is going to have Daniel Babcock against Nick Messino, and they are going at it. And let's see, it looks like Babcock has the better of that match by about 25 pins. So Babcock looking good there, and I'll try to catch up some more scores as we go. 11 and 12, Roy Vandenbogart right in front of us, Will Vidulich. And Vandenbogart in control of this match just makes a 2-10. And beautiful shot there by Roy. And Roy looking strong with Vidulich only able to go out for 206. And Vandenbogart pacing at 205. So Vidulich would have to pretty much punch here to have any chance. Then, of course, on 13 and 14, here's Ian Fitzpatrick playing in with that 3D offset, looks like. And that was a nasty 8-pin he leaves there. And he is up in his match by about 17 pins. So he's got 123 in the 6th. And Larry King, by virtue of flagging that 2-8, has 86 in the 5th. So he's down by a little bit. So Will Vidulich misses and not looking good there. I believe that Roy Vandenbogart will be advancing out of this match. And to the right of them is an interesting match between the venerable Bill Webb. Good to see Webb back in the action. And Matt Fazzone. And Matt Fazzone playing out on this oil pattern. Kind of interesting in how he's doing that. Then that's 15 and 16, 17, 18, Justin Barcombe against John Kirker, who made it in off the at-large cut. Then it's Jack Castellano and Dave Paquin Jr. They're actually way down on 5 and 6. That's the only match I missed. So there's the 8 matches going on. We'll try to catch the winners for you as they unfold, and we will do our best to track those. Once again, good to see everybody on the live stream. Hopefully we'll have some better viewership as we go along. It seemed to be pretty good last month, as Stephen Major was pointing out to us. Things were good, so hopefully people interested in the live stream will get you going. I'm actually untangling my official binoculars here to try to catch up on some of these matches. So looking over on the Kirker match, Kirker shake it off. First front 5, split next 3. So John Kirker will absolutely be moving on. Let's look at the Webb match. They both started with triple and 4-bagger, respectively, did Webb, and now they are within 2 pins of each other. So the Fazone-Webb match, very, very close. As I said, Larry King is down. Vidulich has pretty much lost. Let's move over to the match on 9 and 10. That's Daniel Babcock and Nick Messino. And how are we doing there? Here's Messino with a possible 190, and then Babcock with a chance pacing at 195. So Messino up now for his second shot in the 10th. It'll be off to the left of your screen. He's going to need this strike to force his opponent to mark. And pretty good shot. Crumbles the bucket, will not carry. So it's going to be Babcock, it looks like, moving forward. The 8 seeded players were Corey Umbrello, high qualifier, Andrew Hall, second high qualifier, Ryan Ladley, John Wilbur, Brandon Boyer, Jay Johnson, Justin Quinones, and Mike Mirable. Those are your top 8, 3 of which were high qualifier in their respective blocks. They get an automatic bye, and the others by virtue of score. So Corey Umbrello was overall high qualifier, bowling a very nice 12-10 this morning. That's plus 210 this morning. Very strong. John Wilbur 1190 right behind him. Andrew Hall 1163. So that's going to be, so Brandon Boyer 1165 led the 9 a.m. squad. And last night it was Justin Quinones just with a 1044, followed by Ian Fitzpatrick on 1037. Those were our 2 qualifiers last night. We had 13 entries in the 9 a.m. squad. We had 42 entries at 9 a.m. and that was 6 p.m. and then in the 12:30 squad we had 53 entries. Total 108 entries up here for the first time coming to Rutland, Vermont. Not a bad turnout, and so we're happy with the hosting that's happening here. I'll tell you a little bit about the oil pattern. It is titanium, which is an interesting pattern. It's 44 feet long, 25.3 mils, 4.21 to 1 between the track and the outside. There is a notable out of bounds that you can throw to. The lane surface here at Rutland Bowlerama, very interesting. The front part of the lane is synthetic, so they have replaced all the fronts, but they have preserved the wood back ends, the wood mid lane and back ends. So the ball goes through the synthetic front and then picks up wood on the back. So very interesting, can make for some very interesting transition down the lane. So we've seen some balls go down and grab on the mid lane and really snap on the back, or if you pitch it out and you don't pick up the pattern, the ball just will just accelerate and you can easily clip 3 off the end. So it can be very challenging pattern. On the other side, it can be a high scoring pattern. We've seen guys crush it. We saw Corey shoot 200 over on it. Wilbur 190 over. You know, and I think a lot of the guys that did well were second entries. You saw a lot of guys who bowled this morning, didn't bowl all that well, came back again, and were able to improve their score. I'll tell you that I had that problem. I was only able to make the 12:30 squad, and I bowled bad in my first 2 games, obviously. Then I moved in, I did better. And I think had I had to try again, I think I might have at least made a run at it. But anyway, so it is a bit tricky. But these guys have figured it out and bowling very well. Here's Ian Fitzpatrick on a week 7. And Larry King has his second open, now maxed out at 192. And I believe Ian Fitzpatrick in charge of this match. He needs to make this 7-pin one more mark, and that will lock it up. And let's look it over at the Webb match. And Webb, unfortunately, just needed a double against Matt Fazone, who went out for 223, and Webb failed to double, so Webb is out. So that's going to be Fazone is going to move forward. We're going to see Ian Fitzpatrick move on, and you can see the round of 8 players coming in. And Andrew Hall sitting right behind me. What lane you on? 11 and 12. Okay. Andrew will be on our feature pair with a sore elbow. Did you say? Sore elbow and sore ankle. So we'll see. And we'll see what happens. Maybe we need to get the boy some ice and Advil before he starts his match. But let me see if I can see any other winners. Sarah Gill is hanging around. Looks like she won. I can see Jay Davis coming in. Looks like Chris Monroy is moving his stuff over. Looks like he won. And we'll watch the end of this Larry King match and sign off, and then we'll come back and bring you the round of 16. And we'll officially know who won the matches at that time. So we'll have the same number of 8 matches here, and then we'll go on down to 8, then 4, then 2. Would like to thank, first of all, Rutland Bowlerama and John Wilbur, who's the manager, and also Chip Mark and Greg Fort, the owners here. Thank you very much. And the Rutland local USBC, as well as Black Dog Shooting Supplies, and John Chaffee for adding $1,500 to the prize fund here. So pretty nice prize fund additions here by the local USBC and Black Dog. If you happen to catch our podcast by any chance, you can go on SoundCloud and look for NEBA News. John and I were talking about that earlier this week. So pretty good event here, and we're excited to be bringing it to you. And again, we'll watch these 10th frames here, and then we will come back with the round of 16. And we will go from there. And actually, this is a kind of a done deal, so we're going to watch Larry King cross over. Maybe not. If he shoots 182 and Ian somehow say Greek churches, conceivably, it's conceivable that this could still be a match, so let's watch the end of it, and we'll see what happens. Larry King just went Brooklyn, so he definitely needs a strike here. So Larry not having a lot of fun on this fresh, obviously, and as we know, every re-oil can be a different discussion relative to any particular pattern, especially one down at 4-1. 25.3 mils on this pattern, so medium amount of oil, not crazy. That's a pretty good shot by Larry King. Does not get the messenger, so that's going to put him in the 180s, and that means that Ian, actually 172, so Ian just needs to keep it on the lane, and it's game over. So Larry King will be back, a notable Semba player, and we'll go from there. And it looks like Babcock and Andrew are lining up on 11 and 12, and it'll be Fitzpatrick. And again, we'll call all the matches for you in a few minutes. So let's watch Ian wrap up here. That looks like a ball change as he moved in. So there's a nice mixer. Ian playing about as deep as any left-hander here, and if you look at the shape of the pattern, I think that makes a lot of sense, especially before the righties have had a chance to chew up the heads on the right side. So you get some pretty pristine reaction through the front of the lane if you play deep on the left. And the pattern is certainly conducive to giving you a little bit of hold and a little bit of swing. So here's Ian's second shot. And give him a 3-pin. He'll finish out for 198. And we will sign off, and we will be right back for the round of 16 as soon as Ian completes the shot. And there we go. Okay, everybody, signing off. We'll see you back in a few minutes for the round of 16.